You mentioned pitch clock, and because we got you here, 142 career stolen bases, we got a pitcher here. I'd love to hear more about the pitch clock and what it's done to the running game.
Yeah, for me, the thing that I'm noticing, I said I wanted to pay attention to this at the very beginning of the season. How is the pitch clock going to affect the running game? And what I'm seeing is that pitchers are thinking so much about the pitch clock that they're actually not picking over as much. When the clock is winding down to that 3, 2, 1, I'm very rarely seeing a guy pick over. I'm seeing a guy go home, and I'm seeing the base runners use that to their advantage. So if I kind of want to set this up with Dan on the mound and I'm over here at first base, if I'm in a situation and that pitch clock is winding down, and I'm seeing this happen a lot, especially with bullpen guys on the mound. If I have my lead and I see this clock running down, I'm trying to see the vision of how much can the pitcher see when he's looking at home plate and trying to lock in on the hitter. There's a lot of situations that I see the pitcher seeing the catcher, and the catcher being the one to call timeout because the pitcher can't see the clock. Out here at first base, I can see Dan, and through my peripherals, I can see that clock winding down. And once it gets to 2, I can get a little head start. And I can go ahead and take off, because if I feel like he's not going to pick off, this clock is working in my advantage to be able to get an extra jump. There's a lot of times where, as a base runner, we're thinking about tenths of seconds. If you're a 1-3 to the plate, Dan, I'm probably not going to steal on you. If you're a 1-5 to the plate, I'm definitely going, and I know I'm going to be safe. So now I'm using that pitch clock as my advantage. So I'm wondering, from the pitcher's side, are you able to pay attention to the hitter at the plate and think about the clock going on?
You can't do both at the same time, and this is what makes it so tough with the clock. If I'm a pitcher, I can't dictate what you're going to do. I'm taking the sign. I'm thinking I'm going to deliver a pitch, right? So when I come up, the last thing you want to do as a pitcher is, I see that you have a big lead, and I know the sign right now is a slider down and in. So I come set, and in my mind, I'm either going home or I'm going to first base. I can't do both. The last thing you want to do as a pitcher is to come up here and you have in your mind, hey, okay, it's a slider down and away. I see you have a big lead, and I'm like, oh, do I want to go there? No, I'm going to go to home plate. You have to make your mind up when you come set. I'm either delivering the ball to home plate, because you can't divert your attention to the base runner and to home plate. You need to make a decision. I'm throwing over. The problem is you only get 2 throws over the first base. And the last thing you want to do, what we used to see a lot of times, would be that courtesy. You step off and that little flip over to the first base. Now you've put yourself in a little bit of a pickle, because if you go over there a second time and you don't get him, the third time you're off to the races.
Right.
Because all you're going to do, and I think it's put the running game a huge advantage for the base runners and not for the pitchers. But that's why we're seeing the stolen bases go up.
Not to mention, man, if you got these kicks, you
Oh,
have
you're
a
flying.
running game.
Yeah,
That's a running game right there.